this, the box pops up. You got to click the word "got it," and then it sweeps out of the way. And I'm going to mute
I
everybody.
need one more folding chair.
What's that? What's that? Oh, you're talking to someone else. Okay. And I'm going to mute everybody here. And if you do have questions as we go, feel totally free to get up, unmute yourself, ask a question, and then remute yourself. So here's muting all. All righty. And find your seat. So the basic structure of this class is something we do in every class. Sit for a moment, edge of your chair. So you scoot it forward towards the front edge so that your buttock bones plug down through the chair all the way to the floor. You have a straight central channel, zhong zhong in Chinese or in Taoist Tai Chi talking, central upright, right? And we don't want to hold our upright. And so I'm exaggerating it by doing this, but all of us are usually doing some version internally of grabbing onto our body and trying to hold it up. And really what that does is it keeps us from, so when we relax, what happens is instead of holding this weight in our body, which makes us sort of clumsy and top heavy, we relax, it goes down through, flows through the body and connects us to the ground. So this heaviness, another term they talk about in Taoism, Chun One is sunken, stable, sunken, released down. So that's what creates stable. So I think we've all maybe seen some version of, I remember in my childhood, it was like a clown that was filled up with air, but at the bottom it had sand filled into the bottom, right? So you could punch that thing or knock it over and it would right itself. And it would right itself because there wasn't any weight up in it. All the weight had sunken into this little sand trap down at the bottom to create this stability. So it had a stability, but not because it was grabbed onto and held onto, but because everything that was dense and of the earth, right? Not the air, but the earth inside that little toy was down at the bottom. So that's a wonderful metaphor for what we're doing with our Tai Chi practice. So first, you're sitting. If we do our relaxation, but we have crappy posture, then we're just making it worse. So we do have to do some form of effort to scoot to the front edge, somewhat tip the pelvis somewhat forward, because we don't want to be slouched back like this with the lower back coming out of position. So we tip just a little bit forward until we feel that zhong zhong or central upright. Then relax. So as you relax, you don't lose zhong zhong. You don't lose central upright. And in fact, that central upright increases. It becomes more sort of buoyant because we're allowing everything of the earth to settle through us down through the ground. Let's do a little breathing here. So in the nose, out the nose, breathe naturally, but breathe in a way that is sort of, I'd like to say, indulgent, enjoying it. So it's not work, it's like this, wow, it's almost like this blessing that we recognize that, like, wow, I get to take a breath in, the breath is clean, the air around you probably is pretty clean and nourishing, which isn't a given these days, you know, with forest fires and things like that, right? So breathe in a way that you're really enjoying the blessing of this thing we often overlook, which is that you can breathe and that the breath you're breathing is non-toxic. And then the other thing we're working on, so we've got our Zhong, we're working on Chun One, or settling soft, sunken, and stable down to the earth. But usually we have dense areas in the body, pain, scar tissue, just sort of low-grade stress. With Parkinson's, you guys have levels of sort of agitation and activity in the nervous system, right? That is sort of more than most, but everyone's got some level of this going on, no matter who we are. And so as we breathe, we're trying to let the nervous system shift modes into parasympathetic, into everything's okay, you're totally all right, there's nothing for you to be sympathetic about, meaning your nervous system is fight or flight. And David, you're unmuted for some reason, so I'm just going to mute you. Okay. And then also we have areas in the body that aren't just going to relax just because we ask it to. We need to do something about it. So that's what our joint mobilization work, our little seated series that we're about to do, is all about. It's about kind of squeezing the sponge and bringing out the rag and stretching and moving the areas to open up those deeper layers of residue and tension. Okay, so let's just take 5, 6 more of these enjoyable, grateful breaths in the nose, holding that breath out the nose or mouth, feeling the pump, the body sort of expanding and softly compressing, the mind shifting away from anything that causes it to get agitated and more towards these feelings of it's all good. We want to master that state of it's all good, you're okay. Nervous system can relax. Last few breaths here. Last 2, make them really lovely, complete. You're going to breathe as we move into our next phase. Just breathe freely, breathe in a way that feels good to your body. Okay, now place your hands on your thighs. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see some of the angles here. You just stay facing forward. So you're going to slide your hands forward, tip back on the pelvis, follow the chest area, and drop the chin down. So now you're rounding your spine and opening up the back side of your body. Then let's slide the hands back. Pull the elbows, both of them back. Squeeze your shoulder blades back and lift your head, look up, and push your chest forward and up to create an arch to the back side of your body and open the front side. And then reverse. Slide the hands forward, past your knees, drop the head, round your back. Shoulder blades should spread apart from each other and kind of wrap around your rib cage. That's called protraction. And reverse. Sliding the hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades squeeze back. That's called retraction. Look up to the sky. Slide your hands forward, drop the head, round the back. 24 vertebra going into flexion. And then again, switching, hands coming back, shoulder blades back, chest and head up. That's extension of the spine. Let's do that twice more. And with the breath, you might exhale as you go into flexion or rounding. And inhale as you arch, lift, and look up. Exhale as you slide. Inhale as you come up. And then let's settle to the neutral or the middle position and just pause there for 1 or 2 breaths, feeling neutral, Zhong, and Chun One, settling, sunken, stable. Now, rotations. slide your left hand, it's my right hand, your left, slide that hand forward, but your other hand, slide it back, elbow back, and turn to the right, looking over your shoulder, turning all the vertebrae a little bit to the right. Switch, so you come back through middle, turning slightly to your left. And back through middle and turning to your right. So here, this is kind of bringing out the rag. Finding what's called the transverse plane or the rotational plane. To the left, to the right. Just get your parts moving gently. Do this a couple more rounds on your own. And then let's settle back to the middle. And once again, Jong, central upright. And Chun One, settling down through the earth. Hang your arms now by your sides. We're going to lean softly to the right. Left wrist floats up. Soft, loose. Don't make too much out of it. Just let the hand rise up as you lean to your right. Switch. Left hand dives down as right wrist floats up, lean. So this is the frontal plane or the coronal plane or lateral movement, side to side movement. And this one is really important because we don't do a lot of functional movement in this plane. And so this is a common usual suspect for where our body is feeling stuck, where the residue is building up. And residue in one area creates problems elsewhere. So that's why our joint mobilization practice, this is something I intend for people who understand it, start doing every day. Something like this, something that includes all the pathways just to keep the barnacles from building up, the residue from building up. And then we come back to middle, rest the hands, Jong, or central upright. Chun One, settling everything that's dense down and through like sand, settling. Now, arms hang again. Shrug both your shoulder blades up. So notice your rib cage stays where it is. The shoulder blades on your back slide up. The arms lifted, but you don't have to lift them. That's the mistake a lot of people make. They do something in their arms instead of just letting them be loose. And then let the shoulder blades melt down. Your arms and hands and fingertips move down a couple inches towards the floor. When you shrug up, your fingertips move a couple inches away from the floor. Melt down, they move towards the floor, but they're secondary. The primary mover is the blades, the scapula, the shoulder blades on your back. And this is, again, another usual suspect. The most complicated joint in our body is, in fact, the shoulder blade, arm, chest, upper back connection. So many people have a lot of problems up here because there's a lot of potential movement with these wonderful, beautiful wings that we have, right? So we're trying to free those up. Now, your shoulder blades at the bottom, this can get a little tricky, this movement, so just do your best. Shoulder blades spread apart, spread away from your spine. Your chest should hollow, your arms kind of float a little bit forward. Now, from this position, shrug up. Stay shrugged up as you take the shoulder blades back, like you're trying to crack a walnut between your shoulder blades. Stay back with the shoulder blades as you slide down and come to neutral where they're just hanging out. Then go forward with the shoulder blades. Then stay forward as you start up. Stay up as you slide them up over the top and back, crack a walnut, and slide down your back and under. We're going to do this about 4 more times. Eventually, this movement is the most natural thing in the world, and it feels so good because it's like it's actually better than a massage when you do it right. You're using your bones to squish and extend and pump and flush the musculature. And there's like something like, I mean, if I really counted it, there could be over 20 or so different muscles just on that back area between the shoulder blades, layered on top of each other. And they get all gluey and gooey and stuck. And so here we're just making it lubricated and flush, easy and free. Let's reverse. Now the reverse is even a little trickier. Shoulder blades back. They stay back as they come up, and then this movement people have a hard time with usually, but then eventually it feels very natural. You come over the top, forward and down. Come back, stay back as you go up, stay up as you come over. And you can see my arms moving, but don't be distracted by that. The movement is still happening in the upper back, shoulder blade, chest connection. So don't just start moving your arms and thinking you're doing it. The blades, make sure that that's where you're moving from. And if this is your first time doing it, well, it might be a little tricky, but over time, just keep in your mind, it's not just your arms, it's the whole blade up in your back that's usually trapped in a bunch of layers of tissue and muscle tension, all kinds of issues there. Last one. And settle to the middle. Now, bend your elbows, nice and easy, just bring your hands up. Elbows like chicken wings, out and up, down. Elbows come around in front, and do your best to touch the tips of the elbows towards each other, squeezing them, and feel how that opens your back. Elbows down, out and up. This opens the chest area and the side body. Keep your hands in close there. Down. Elbows around in front, squeeze. Just notice the forearms, wrists, and hands are just along for the ride. Just let them hang out. You don't do a bunch of nervous system activity through the hands. You just let them relax. Touch the elbows together. Elbows. And down. Now, elbows straight back like you're trying to squeeze shoulder blades together again. And then elbows down, the hands are up. Elbows forward, the hands go over the shoulders. Elbows up if you can, and hands go down your back with your hands. Then elbows forward, down, back. And again, the hands and forearms just come along for the ride, so let them be relaxed. Elbows down, forward, and up. The hands just along for the ride. They end up down your back. Forward, down, back. Down, forward, up. So we're cleaning out that sand that's stuck up here, and we're allowing it the opportunity to settle down through. So we're cleaning out the stuck spots and allowing it to flow. And we're just getting softer, easier, more free with every round. Now, final one in this little set, elbows out, palms face the floor. One above, one below. One below goes under the armpit as they cross, and then hug your own body. Give a little squeeze. Then elbows out to the side. Feel this open quality, sort of buoyancy, and then switch. Feel the front of you squeeze together and close and squish those spaces. And then open. This one is exceptional during the winter. Movements that squish and open our chest, shoulder, upper back, armpit area. So that's where our lymph nodes, our upper lymph nodes congregate and consolidate the waist. And so here we're assisting the body in pumping the lymphatic through. Keep the lung health, keep just the general immune health, sewage system clean. And elbows down, hands down. So that's just a shortened version of upper body joint mobilization. We do more on Fridays in the more Tai Chi oriented class. Now, scoot a little bit back on your chair. So you're stable. Bend the right knee, bring the right heel in towards the butt. This is called chambering. Push until the leg is straight. Rechamber. Set that foot down. Switch. Chamber. Push away. Rechamber. Set it down. Chamber and push. Chamber. Return. Switch. So the body loves to be pumped and then extended, squished and then lengthened and then squished again, right? The tissue loves that, keeps it lubricated, hydrated. The joints love it when we do it in a way that isn't straining to the joint, but just nice and easy, utilizing all the spaces and range of motion. It flushes and keeps everything healthy. Now, just straighten from the knee joint, your right foot, flex foot, flex, point. So now we're focusing on ankle and foot. That's point and flex. Now, invert, evert, this little tilt of the foot. Just a subtle tilt. And then those two first movements together make for the circle. So go in, point, around and out, and then back to flex. Circle, 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 and switch. Out, around, and other. Point it out there, point and flex, point and flex. This gets your calf muscle, shin muscle, ankle joint, foot, arch, toes. Invert, evert, a little in, out, in, out. Circles. Reverse circles. And down. So that is all sort of simple leg movement. And then we'll do one more leg movement here that's slightly more complicated to the brain, to the joint, but very important. So now step a little wider than hip distance. So you have extra space between your feet. Lift your toes, and you're going to turn on the heels, and your knees come in, but the key is the feet. So what we don't want is feet staying there, and I'm just collapsing my knees in. The whole leg internally rotates. You squeeze the groin area a little bit. There's like a compression here. And then lift your toes and open. Right, so now it's external rotation. Lift your toes, internal, squeezing. And again, this is like the armpit. There's a bunch of lymphatic nodes here. So we're helping that, right? That's one layer of the benefit. But this is also internal and external turning of the leg bone and the hip socket, which is really important. It's something people lose as they age. People just walk in straight lines everywhere they go. And this range of motion closes down. And then you get all kinds of problems that way. Back pain, imbalance, lack of agility, all kinds of stuff. So rotation. And then come back to neutral, and then we'll do one slightly different, where instead of the toes being the moving part, lift your heels a little, turn your heels in. Notice you're in external rotation. Turn your heels out, you're in internal rotation. Heels come in, heels out. Heels, 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 heels. One more. And then back to neutral. Bring your legs back to about hip distance. Now legs don't move, pelvis folds at the hip socket. Bow forward, get a nice lower back stretch, get a nice squeeze to the front of the hips and hip flexors. Then sit back upright to vertical, and then still from those hips, lean back, tip back, and then sit back upright to vertical. Do that again, I'll do it from the side so you can see. Hinging at the hips. Notice my spine isn't rounding, it's my pelvis. I'm closing this joint. I'm back to vertical, and then I'm tipping back from that joint, opening here. My spine is still retaining its vertical line. It's zhong in a sense. Central upright. It's straight throughness. All right, back to sitting upright. Now, putting this all sort of together, slide your feet back a little bit so your ankles are behind your knees. You stand up and sit down, but not by force. Instead, fold and let your arms just dangle out in front, spill your weight into your legs, and then just push easily through the earth. Remember that clown with the sand down. So don't be all active up in upper body, relax. Let the sand be down through you in the earth. Fold at the hips, sit your tush down, find the chair, and vertical. So feel your body weight's going through the chair to the earth, and then you spill into the legs. And it's just easy, or easier at least, until it becomes really easy. It's easier than forcing it. Fold, sink. 2 more. Let the sand go through to the floor. Sit. Now, from here, don't sit in your chair, but do all the same things as if you were. Sinking, sinking, sinking. Don't sit in the chair, push through the earth, stand all the way back upright. Again, fold and sink. Let your arms dangle. Maybe you get close to touching your toes or even touching the floor, and then push through the earth. Remember, like I said, the body loves to be squeezed and lengthened. Squeezed and lengthened. So this is almost like an accordion. Like an accordion being compressed. We're letting the whole body compress and then pushing and straightening everything out again and flushing all these spaces. 1 more. So this is the Tai Chi squat. This loose quality, this easy sliding of the joints and tissue. All right. Now, your chair should be just like this. Go to your right side chair, turn and face it, and use it for safety here as we go ahead and once you get there, turn your head and look at me. So now I'm rocking into my toes, rocking into my heels, and using the chair, especially for rocking to the heels. That's usually the trickiest one. But go into the fronts of your feet and into the backs of your feet. So Ilana asks this question a lot. She says, oh, I feel like I'm falling backwards a lot. A lot of times that's because people are stuck in this back side of the foot, and you need to find more to the middle or to the front. And so some of you might do the opposite. That also happens where you're always sort of forward in your feet, and you need to find coming back just a little bit to find the middle. But find forward, find back. Now we take that up a notch, go forward into the toes, stay in the toes, lift your heels, then stay in your toes, come down, rock to your heels. This is where you need your chair. Lift the toes off the floor, so the only thing touching the floor is those heels. Keep your hand on your chair for safety. Come down, rock forward, and lift. Someday you can play with doing this no chair, or even just like a light touch. And this helps us find our middle, the place that is stable, still, comfortable, regardless of if we're in the front or the back or whatever, right? So this is a great exercise for your countertop in your kitchen when you're waiting for your tea kettle, okay? Now, settle to the middle, turn and face the front again, and step a little bit back so that your chair is in front of you and to the right of you. This is my left, but I'm going to say right because I want you to use me as your mirror. I'm your mirror, okay? So my left is your right as far as we're going, okay? Now, you got your chair there. Don't use it for this first one unless you need to. So this is level 1. So change your weight to your right leg. Let that sand go through the right leg and settle at the bottom there through the earth. Left foot now doesn't have any sand in it. lift the heel and lift to the tippy toe of that foot so that you're right on the tip of the shoe, and then land the foot down still with no sand in it, and then change the weight. Pour the sand through that left leg, so now your right leg, no sand. Lift to the tip of the shoe, lower it back down, whole foot with no sand, and then change the weight. This is a key essential thing. Empty, full. Lift the empty foot. See how easy it is to lift a foot when it's empty. Back down, still empty, change. Right foot, tippy toe, back down without any weight, then let the sand settle. Tippy toe, back down. The other really important thing is jong jung. So my primary direction to get down this left leg is down, not left. So I'm not leaning my body this way. I'm still upright and I'm just letting that sand go through. And then I come a little bit to the right, but mostly it's let the sand go through to the earth. Let's go level 2, hand maybe touching the chair. Get to the tip of the shoe, and then we disconnect the empty foot. Land the whole empty foot without any weight. Pour the sand through the left leg. First, get to the tippy toe, then disconnect. It could just be an inch or more. Land the whole foot, change the weight. So think of this as the underlying principle for anything else we're going to do is shifting, then moving an empty foot. Eventually, it can blend together where it almost seems simultaneous, but it can't be a premature pulling up because it throws the whole body out of position. So train this Zhongjang Chun Wan down through you. And then what happens when you get Zhongjang and sunken stable or Chun Wan is what they call Qing Ling, nimble, light, nimble, agile, free. But you can't jump right to the Qing Ling. You have to get upright and then sunken stable. Then what's left is this free floating body, okay? Now use the chair, level 3, knee as high up as you can. Keep your body upright, let the leg down with no body weight. Change, let the sand go all the way through, then lift. Softly down without losing your upright. Change. What you can feel here is that when my leg goes down, when your leg goes down and you haven't changed weight, then there's this internal place, this internal mechanism that's in the lower back and the pelvis that is where the change of weight happens. So if you can find that mechanism change, and you get better and better at that mechanism change, then you might move towards swifter movement, lighter movement, all that good stuff, okay? Now, change the weight to your left leg, right foot empty, put it out in front with the heel touching the toe up in the air. So I'll turn sideways so you can see. I'm not way out here with a big step yet. It's just the easiest possible step. And then we pour the sand through the right leg, moving slightly forward in space. Get to the tippy toe of your left foot. And then pour the weight through the left leg and this right foot, light and empty. Pour the weight. You still got Zhongjang or central upright. You're Chun Wanning or sinking through to get to the earth. Primary direction down. Primary direction down. Any amount of you that's holding is just keeping you from this achievement of rooting, connecting to the earth. Now, level 2, chair as needed. So your right leg being empty from this right hip, just float a straight leg, lower to let the heel touch softly, and then shift, the same shift. Back leg, kind of like a flamingo, bend the knee, heel comes up, Lower the toe back to where it was touching, and then shift. From the hip, straight leg lift, lower, shift. Back leg from the knee, hinge, down, shift. You should have a teacup on your head that's not spilling at all, because there's that jump that is unbroken. Unbroken. Level 3. Think it's the same essential bit with a little added challenge. Hand on chair as needed. Knee up. Heel softly down, right? Nothing's changed. We shift and make that essential change. Now this back leg is free to go heel to butt and knee forward and up, so that we can practice reaching the foot back without putting weight in it, and then shifting back. Front leg, lift, lower, without any weight, no disturbance, shift. So we don't want to rock the boat. Then this left knee forward and up, reach it back without losing your connection to the earth. Change which leg you're using. Right knee, down, shift. Remember, primary direction is down to allow the up. If you get the down correct, the up is easy. If you don't get the down correct, any up is dangerous because you're not connected. You're a tree without roots. You're going to get blown away. So rooting, but not forceful rooting, soft, sunken, easy. We're going to switch sides. So bring your right foot back, empty your left foot, sidestep, change so you're closer to your second chair. Now, put the weight in the right leg, empty your left foot, put your left foot in front. Same way, right? Just a small step. Primary direction, down as you shift into your front leg. Get to the tippity tip of the shoe, and then primary direction, down. Tip of the heel, down. Down. And maybe some of you, especially those of you doing it a while, you can feel the safety. There's a safety in down, in staying down, staying soft, staying connected, not pulling yourself up out of your root. And that's what Tai Chi is. It's a process of undoing these habits and sort of unconscious areas that are keeping us from connected to the stability of the earth. And then once you break through, then you're like, oh, everything, I just never leave that connection. Even when I'm sitting, laying down, standing, up on one leg, even when I'm jumping, I'm still connected to the earth. Level 2, use the chair for balance as needed. From your left leg, just a straight leg lift from that empty hip, heel down, shift. Now that back foot, you're on the tip of the toe, heel to butt, toe down, shift. From the empty hip, lift, lower, shift. If you rock your boat, if you almost fall out of position in this one, usually it's because you haven't achieved empty, full discernment. Right? Premature lifting. So shifting, and then if you try to pull it up now, rather than completing the shift, then that lift is easy. Shift, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, achieve it. So you start to really be able to feel when it's changed. That's why going slow in the beginning is key, because you have to discern it, feel it. Okay, now it's happened, now that's free. Then you got to pour it, feel it, wait for it. Now you're there, now you're free to step. Let's go level 3. Chair as needed, knee up. Down, especially with this one, no premature lifting. Shift, get to the tippy toe, then forward and up, should not rock the boat. Reaching back, should not rock the boat. Shift. Left knee, down, shifting. Right knee, forward and up. Reach the toe back. No rock of the boat. Totally at ease. Safe. Learning to rely on softness, relaxation. One more time. Great job, everybody. Let's go back to the first side. So bring your left foot back, change your weight into the left, side step, shift over. Bring your left foot in. Now we're near this chair. Get there. Set up like we did for level 1. Right foot, inside foot, close to the chair foot. Now shift. Get to the tippy toe, and then step and get to the heel, empty heel of this foot, and then shift. Tippy toe. Shift back. Remember, primary direction is down. Once this left foot is free, it's empty. You can step back without rocking the boat, and then you shift. And again, primary direction down. This one's empty. Primary direction down. Once that foot is truly empty, stepping is not a problem. Shift. Shift. Step. Shift. This is level 1. Let's do it again. Shift. Wait for it. Don't prematurely step. If you prematurely step, it'll show up as hammering your foot into the ground or falling into your foot. But if you find this differential, then you start to feel light, nimble, easy. And I've seen it work on every single person, whoever I've dealt with, whether they've had strokes, Parkinson's, or they're just regular people with these issues that everyone's facing, which is incorrect use of their mechanisms of the body. This works every time. Sort of like a backdoor route. Now, level 2, lift, lower, shift. Now imagine there's an obstacle on the floor you have to step over. So you pull the heel up a little, bring the foot over the obstacle, and set the heel down empty. Change the weight. Bend the knee, heel to butt, toe down, shift back. Now this one gets a little weird or tricky. So the leg comes up, bend, push the foot back and find the earth. Keep your balance, right? And then shift back. From the empty hip, lift, lower, shift. Let your arms hang. Let your arms hang. Let them go, almost like you don't have arms. Step over, shift. Back foot, heel to butt like a flamingo, toe down, shift. This front leg lifts up in front, bend the knee and push the foot back, and shift. And again, lift, lower, shift. Up and over. Shift. Flamingo. Shift back. Front leg. Up, tuck, reach. Level 3, use the chair for safety. Remember, let your arms hang if you can, and just nice, easy touch the chair. Now we're going knee up, heel softly down, primary direction down as you shift. Now it's just kind of exaggerated. Heel to butt, knee up, foot out, heel softly down, then you shift, primary direction down, and then this right leg goes heel to butt and knee forward and up, like you're about to step up over something, but then you reverse, toe back, shift back. Now this front leg, knee up, tuck, foot, reach back, shift. Knee up, heel softly down. Shift, primary direction down through the earth, which frees up that left leg to do that little step. Shift, primary direction down so that this knee is free to come up, back without losing your weight, shifting your weight, and then shift. And the primary direction down frees you up to float that leg. Level 3, one more time. And we're really taking our time with these today, kind of as a restart, because I think there's some newer people, and anyway, but usually we'll flow through these exercises a little faster and get to the next one and the next one. So today we really took our time, but there's a lot of lessons in these basic exercises. Okay, now bring your right foot back, shift into the right leg, step sideways, go to your other chair so that it's within reach. Empty left foot, put the left foot in front, heel empty, foot empty, leg empty. Level 1. Primary direction down. Once right foot's empty, it just floats. Heel touching, empty, and then primary direction down. Shift back, primary direction down, so the right leg is free to just float back. Down. Shift, step, shift. Shift back, step back, shift back. Ease. Training ease like it's a skill, because it is. Training, not doing a whole bunch of extra, which just gets in the way and rocks the boat and creates confusion. And with Parkinson's, that's something you can't afford. That's how I kind of see it. Other people move incorrectly all the time, but they get away with it because they don't have this other activity going on that the Parkinson's brings. One more, level 1. Whereas, as the late great John Argue said, people with Parkinson's are condemned to conscious movement. Conscious movement. So very conscious here. Level 2. Lift, lower, shift. Now this empty foot's got to step up and over something and land. Shift. Back leg, heel to butt, toe touch, shift back. This front leg, lift, bend, reach back, shift. Again, from the empty hip, lift, lower, shift. Once you've gotten this connection to the earth, the right foot is free. And then you connect here and you get this little flamingo lift, and it's easy. It doesn't rock the boat. It's easy. Up in front, bend, reach back, shift. Once more, level 2. Lift, lower, shift. Over the obstacle. Shift. Flamingo. Shift. Over the obstacle the other way. Now again, chair as needed. Level 3. Knee up. Heel softly down and empty. Change the weight. Primary direction down. So that down frees you to take this big step with the right leg, but it doesn't mean big as in out in front. It's just an exaggerated sort of joint motion. And then shift. And then this leg, big lift, return, shift. Bring that knee up, tuck the foot under, push back or reach back with the toe, shift back. Up, down, shift. Heel to butt, knee up, foot out. That's all just a test. How through are you? Up, shift. Up, tuck, reach, back, shift. And together. Now, don't move anything in your world. I'm just matching units here. So now come to the left side of your space and turn to face to the right. So now you have a runway in front of you with also having your chairs on your left side to be your safety as needed, right? Now, level 1, we're going to walk 4 or 5 steps, whatever room you have. So empty your left foot, put it in front. Change your weight into the left foot. When the right foot is truly empty, step it forward empty. Change the weight. When the left foot's empty, change the weight. When the right foot's empty, step, change the weight. Now we go backwards, but remember, primary direction down, connect to the earth, step the empty foot back, and then down, connect to the earth. Empty foot back, down. So at no point are you at risk. That's how it should feel. At no point are you just rolling the dice and hoping the step works. Instead, you're always connected to the earth. You're always stepping a foot because it's free. Then you're shifting. Then you're shifting. And eventually, this is how it can feel to walk large strides, to really cover some ground. It's also how it can feel to jog. I've gotten people feeling how they can do light jogging who didn't think they could even walk. I've seen them be able to find this trick and skill and then be able to just kind of lightly move around with a little spring in their step. But you got to find Zhong and Chun Wan before you can get to Qing Ling. Body upright, sunken, stable, and soft. And then you get nimble, agile, free. And again, folks of all different persuasions, just aging itself causes us to lose this. So everybody needs this. So don't feel like you're in some minority of people. Every single person needs to find these skills. But with Parkinson's and other issues of the nervous system, it's absolutely essential. Absolutely essential. Okay, great job. Now, turn and face your chairs again, but be at the left side of your space. Empty your right leg and side step in. Now, notice something that I didn't do. I didn't go like this and then this. I didn't move my body weight. I stepped without any change in my body weight back and forth. So do that on your own. Find your left leg, the full leg, right leg empty, and notice lateral movements, sideways, 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 without your body weight going with it. I'm still seeing some of you go with the body weight. All right, James, your body weight's going with your leg. Do you see that that's happening? You're letting your body weight go into your leg. And I'm saying, don't do that. Step only the amount that nothing changes in your body weight. That's the key to this exercise, right? So that you're stable and moving, right? Now, put the right foot out, keep it there, change, right leg full, left empty, and then change back. Left full, right empty. So this wider stance change of weight feels very sort of obvious. I'm moving to the left to get into my left. I'm moving to the right to get to the right, but primary direction is still down through, down through. So if I keep going too much to the side, I end up losing my alignment. So you only go to the side the amount necessary to create the down and through. Now stay in your right leg. So shift to your right leg now. Left foot empty, bring it in, out. So the same thing we were just doing, do not let your body weight go with your left leg. Keep it empty. And the emptiness, see how fast you could move it if you were able to keep it empty. Now you're moving swift, right? This is quickness. This is Qingling, agile, okay? But it's because it's empty. Bring the foot in. Now this one's very important. Feet as together as you safely can. Down through the left, feel the right empty. Down through the right, feel the left empty. Down through the left, the right is empty. Down through the right, the left is empty. Body upright. This is a really good one for Zhong and Chun Wan. Sunk and stable. Sunk and stable. Now the weight is in the left leg. Right foot, Qing Ling, light and empty, step sideways. Switch. Left foot, Qing Ling, light and empty, bring it in. change. Weight goes through the left, right foot steps without any body weight. Change. Left foot steps without any body weight. Change. Right foot. Change. Left foot. Change. Right. Change. Left. Change. Right. Switch directions. Left foot comes in and out. Change. Right foot in. Change. Left foot out. Change. And if you notice, I'm not leaning and leaning. And it looks like you guys aren't either, which is pretty cool. Notice that when you start to find this soft, chung one, sunk, stable quality, you're not tipping the boat. You're not tipping your teacup on top of your head. So you're keeping your central upright while moving through space. One more there, back. And you might notice I'm speeding up, but what I'm not doing is, right? I'm changing and bringing the foot in, and then changing and stepping out, and then changing. So when you get really good at this, then you find you can sa, sha, wa, light, right? And that's what Tai Chi movements are, is these different leg moves with loose quality and circles and spirals. But we gotta have this underlying skill set. Let's do one more there and back. Try just to add maybe 1% of speed, but don't lose your separate light, empty and full. Don't lose your, right? So what you're looking for is down through the earth so that this is free. And then down through the earth so this is free. Down to the earth. Eventually, down to the earth becomes instantaneous. It's just shoom, shoom, shoom. But initially, there's a lot in the way. There's tension, there's fear, there's caution, there's just tight muscles that have been allowed to get tight or weak or stuck. And so, these kinds of practices over time melt that out and dissolve it out. And again, I've just seen it do wonderful things, people of all ages. And this stuff is designed for us as we are past our 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s, 110, 120 to retain pain-free functional movement. Okay? And then let's finish with our self-massage. So hands together, rub those hands, create some nice warmth. Warmth. Rub the back of one hand, and then the palms again. Back of the other hand, palms again. Now, hands on your groin area, the inguinal crease, the quad, as they call it in Tai Chi. Rubbing that space so that it doesn't stagnate. Then the hip flexors, the fronts of your hips. Then go around the back to your tailbone, sacrum. Come up onto your lumbar muscles. And then we, as if sitting to a Tai Chi squat, or we do, sit the butt, sweep the hands down the outside of the legs, around to the inside, and then stand back up as the hands come up the inside, past the groin to your middle, your belly button. From the middle, groin, hip flexors, sacrum and tail, lumbar, and then yang channels, outer back side, come around to the yin channels, the inner front side, past the groin to the middle, navel. One more. Quad, hip flexors, tail, lumbar or Ming Men, gait of life. Yang channels clearing, yin channels clearing, cycling through. And then finish with up the outer arm to the shoulder, turn that arm palm up, sweep off the fingertips, repeat on that same arm. Turn the palm down, up, turn the palm up, sweep. Up, down, up, down, and switch. Up the outer, over the shoulder, turn that arm palm up, sweep. Up the outer, down the inner, yang channel, yin channel. Side that sees the sun, the side that is hidden from the sun, the yin and the yang, right? The shady and the sunny. Great job today, everybody. Sink the chi to the belly. Wings, turn the palms up, hands over the top as a gathering gesture, and then settling the mind, settling the energy of the body back to our reservoir at the navel. And then seal the practice. One hand over navel, other hand over that hand over the navel. 3 breaths. And then hands down. Great job, everyone. Have a wonderful holiday. I think I'll see some of you on Friday. But anyway, keep your eyes on the emails. I think I should be here the week after Christmas, but I don't know, things might change, but I think I'm there. So anyway, I'll be here Friday and then the following week, probably. Okay. But great work today. And